Coming into these playoffs, it was a 3-team race for the championship. You had the Boston Celtics, looking to become the first team in this new parity era to win back-to-back championships. The Cavaliers, who were a huge surprise, winning 64 games, a 16-win increase from last season, when the only major change they had was their head coach. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, a dynasty in the making. To our surprise, only one of those 3 teams would even make it past the second round. This is an overview of the... Hold on. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. I first gotta talk about... The Atlanta Hawks would get beat so bad, Trae Young didn't even want to finish the game. Tyler Hero would struggle in his matchup against the Chicago Bulls. And by struggle, I mean struggling to miss. That boy was on fire. What a game between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors, where we saw playoff Jimmy in full effect. We just got a taste of playoff Jimmy, man. I just can't wait. I'm salivating, man. I just want the whole look. Klay Thompson would put a stop to the memes, finally making his shots in a play-in game against the Kings. They would go on to face the Grizzlies, and that would be the end of their very intriguing season, to say the least. I still can't get over the fact that they traded a generational talent in their prime. The only way you could excuse such an abominable trade is if, I don't know, they got the first overall pick and drafted Cooper Flag, but hey, that's a pipe dream. The Heat would go on to face the Hawks and beat them in overtime off the heroics of Davion Mitchell. You know what? Close enough. Welcome to Heat Nation, Donovan Mitchell. The Cavaliers would give the Heat a bad case of the beats, achieving the highest scoring differential with 122. There's a reason they had the second highest rated offense in NBA history. The Celtics would handle the Magic in 5. The Thunder would sweep the Grizzlies, but history would be made during that series. The Thunder would achieve the second largest comeback in NBA playoffs history. All I'm gonna say before moving on is the Thunder better count their lucky stars that Jaw got injured, cause he figured them boys out. Things would have looked a whole lot different. The Timberwolves would beat the Lakers in 5 games. The complete opposite of what Shannon Sharpe expected to happen. In Game 3, we would get my glorious king, my sunshine, my only sunshine, scoring the most points by a 40-year-old in the playoffs. In Game 5, we witnessed a Rudy Gobert masterclass. 3 words I never thought I would ever say. Going into the Bucks and Pacers series, there was a bit of drama. A poll would come out that showed players voted Tyrese Halliburton as the most overrated player in the NBA. Tyrese took that to heart and decided to send them boys to Cancun in the worst way possible. He would cap off the Pacers coming back from 6 down by driving past Giannis and hitting him with a... Even worse than them boys getting sent home in 5, Damian Lillard in Game 4 would tear his Achilles. It was such a sad sight to see because he made such a miraculous comeback, even making it to the playoffs, returning from a blood clot. Man, I just wonder how the Bucks are gonna handle this situation.
You've got mail.
A series I was most looking forward to in the first round was Knicks versus Pistons. We got an ankle breaker game winner by the head of the table. The Knicks absolutely destroying the Pistons in Game 2. Oh, my bad, wrong score. And the Pistons getting cheated of a foul that could have potentially had them win that game. What a year for a team that just last year lost an NBA record 28 consecutive games. To go from that to, if the whistle blew their way, potentially taking the Knicks to 7 games. Now, let's talk about the 2 series that went 7 games. Let's start with the Warriors versus Rockets, where we saw Steph Curry making it look
Staff effortless.
Dylan Brooks doing what he does best, poking the bear. Jalen Green dropping 38 one game, and then for the rest of the other games, not even scoring more than 12 points. Freddie turning back the clock, shooting like he was the first time dad again. The Warriors would win in 7 games due to Buddy Hield dropping a masterclass in the pivotal Game 7. They gotta make some changes this offseason. Freddie cannot be the main source of offense. They have to find a way to trade Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks' bad contract for a, 7-foot mid-range assassin fossil. And the final one, Clippers versus Nuggets. The first game would go to overtime. Game 2, we would see Kawhi Leonard turning back the clock. And we would even see a game-winning dunk. It was a fun watch until the Clippers, clippered, losing in Game 7. With James Harden nowhere to be found in the pivotal Game 7. Wow, who would have saw that one coming? The second round is where we saw not one, but 2 upsets. The first one being the Pacers beating the Cavs in 5. The Cavaliers were the clear favorites going into this matchup, but the basketball gods had other plans, with key players being injured. Donovan Mitchell would try his best to hold the fort, dropping 38 points in Game 2. Up 7 with less than a minute left? I think he did a hell of a job. But if you ask the Bucks, that lead isn't safe. One thing led to another, and next thing you know, the most overrated player knocked down a 3 over Ty Jerome, who I'll talk about in just a sec, to win them the game. Do you have anything you want to say, Tyrese?
Yeah, overrate that.
They would win the next game, but it just seemed like the Cavs couldn't recover, with Game 4 them being down 41 points at half. What a sad ending for a team that had such a phenomenal season. Especially for Ty Jerome, who was in line for a huge bag and possibly a starting role. Seeing all that slip away as the Pacers series went along. The Warriors would also get affected by injury. Steph suffering a hamstring injury. The earliest he could return was Game 3, so all the Warriors had to do was hold the fort until he came back. They would end up winning that game, but that would be their only win of the series, losing in 5. Which is real awkward if you ask me, Draymond. There was only one series that went 7 games in the second round, and that was the Nuggets again and the Thunder. The series would get off to a hot start with Aaron Gordon knocking down another game winner, the Thunder fouling way too early, and Chet missing 2 pivotal free throws led to that outcome. In Game 3, we saw Shea walking off the court smiling after losing. In Game 5, where Jokic dropped 44 points and was making shots like this, they would lose that game. The Thunder would absolutely put BTA to the Nuggets in Game 7, Shea showing why he deserved the MVP over Jokic. Remember I said there was 2 upsets? This was the other one, between the Knicks and the Celtics. A vast majority of analysts expected the Celtics to handle the Knicks like they've been doing all year. And it looked that way, the Celtics going up 20 towards the end of the third. So, how did we get here? Well, the Knicks would capitalize on the Celtics shooting woes. The game would go into overtime, where the Knicks would show the Thunder how you intentionally foul late in games. Bridges would seal the win by stealing the inbound pass. Oh, almost forgot. We got this zesty picture of Cat. Not you laying it on me, boy, bye. Well, nobody expected the Celtics to sweep. You can't expect the Knicks to do that again, right? In Game 2, the Celtics will go up by 20 again. Surely they've learned their lesson. Ain't no way it happens again. It happened again. Is this what deja vu feels like? Stop me if you've heard this before. In Game 3, the Celtics had a comfortable lead. There's no way they choked this lead, right? They don't, but I got you going there for a second. Up until this point, Jason Tatum has been struggling. In Game 4, he would be back on his bully. Sadly, he wouldn't be able to finish the game because he would end up tearing his Achilles. They would lose the game, leading to them being down 3-1, all but sealing their fate. The Celtics would win Game 5, but we all knew how this story was gonna end. The Knicks would win in 6. The conference final was set, the aura off, And Indiana versus the Knicks, a historic rivalry that will have the guy that was the catalyst for the rivalry working the games. They played last year and it would go 7 games, Pacers being the one coming out victorious. The Knicks were hungry to get their lick back, trying to do something that hasn't been done in years. And it seemed like they were on their way, leading by 14 points with less than 3 minutes left. That was until Aaron McGrady or Tracy Neesmith, whatever you favor, he would bring them back, and who else by Tyrese to take it home.
You can't keep getting away with it!
He would do the Reggie Miller choking gesture that he did after scoring 8 points in 9 seconds. Wait, his foot was on the line? Knicks, you guys are still in it. You guys have a chance to make him look stupid for... Yeah, no, the Pacers would win in overtime. Tyrese pushed all his ore in the middle of the table and cashed out. The Knicks would lose Game 2, losing their home court advantage. Game 3 was such a huge game for the Knicks because if they were to go down 3-0, they might as well just start packing their bag and start making vacation plans. And it looked like they should just bust out the laptop and go on Expedia, going down by 15 in the third. But if there's one thing that we've learned between these two teams is that no lead is safe. The big bodega would be the one to lead the charge, making sure that they don't go down 3-0. The Knicks would win Game 3 in hopes of the momentum shifting in their direction now. In Game 4, Tyrese would have a historic night. He would be the first person to post this stat line. He would also become the Pacers' all-time leader in triple-doubles in the playoffs. The Pacers would win in 6. As much as Ty thought he deserved winning the conference MVP, it was handed to Pascal Siakam. In the grand scheme of things, it was probably for the best that the Knicks got knocked off. If the Knicks were to make it to the finals and potentially win it, New Yorkers would put Philadelphia after the Eagles won the Super Bowl to shame. Gotham would look like a 5-star resort in comparison. And finally, the two new faces of the league battle off. I should mention, coming into this series, Julius Randle was beating all of the allegations of him being a playoff choker. All things regress to the mean, especially when you go up against one of the greatest defenses the NBA has ever seen. Made evident by how bad the Timberwolves were shooting from 3. I had that exact same reaction, and actually, there was only one game where the point differential was below 15. A game where Julius Randle and Ant both combined for 21 points. Also, a game where we saw the Thunder's big 3 score a combined 95 points. The Thunder would bounce the Timberwolves in 5, and Ant would keep that same energy.
Yeah, man. Hey, season 5 over with. Got my ass whooped. KFC, UFC, USC, OKC in 5, man.
Shea would win the conference MVP. Then there were 2. A team everybody saw coming and a team nobody saw coming. Once again, the Pacers were underdogs going into the series, right where they want to be. But they can't afford to do what they've been doing, man. This is a different... Oh, I guess the Thunder got game...
The only lead change of the entire game.
The Pacers with a chance to win it.
Was your game winner. And
Halliburton looking.
They say one time is luck.
5 seconds, 4 seconds. Halliburton for the lead.
2 times is a habit.
Carlisle's going to let him play. Halliburton steps back and hits.
3 times it's the truth.
He'll backpedal a 3 for the win and goal!
So what's the 4th time that you're able to take control of a game like that in the NBA Finals?
Halliburton driving, pulls off, jump shot.
I don't know.
Well, Tyrese, I got an answer for you. Destiny.
It's good with 3/10 of a second remaining.
For the 4th time this playoffs, Ty caps off another comeback, making him 13 for 15 on game tying or taking the lead shots. With the help of that old bald guy scoring his career playoff high in points.
Don't disrespect our GOAT like that, man.
Oh, my bad, chat. The Thunder would win game 2. Game 3, we got 2 role players on the Pacers side showing out. Benedict Mathurin not only scored more points than Shea, but had more free throws than that free throw merchant. And I can't forget about the Kobe Bryant of Steve Blake's, becoming the first player to score a 5 assist, 5 steal game off the bench. In game 4, it seemed like the Pacers were going to take a 3-1 lead to further fuel the team of dynasty notion. That was until the 4th quarter came. A game where the Thunder only made 3 threes and Shea having 0 assists. They found a way to win that game. Heartbreaking, but you can't focus on that. Gotta move on and turn your focus to game 5. Yeah. J-Dub went absolutely ballistics. Shea would tag on 31, and the savior of basketball would drop a generational 14 points. The only way I see them pushing this series to a game 7 is if they play possessed. I don't know what pregame ritual they engaged in, but they would end up blowing out the Thunder. The best 2 words in sports. Game 7. It seemed like we were in store for a classic. That was until the unthinkable. Even though it wasn't confirmed then, we all knew that it was an Achilles tear. The 3rd player in these playoffs to wear number 0 to tear their Achilles. And the 3rd Pacer to tear their Achilles. The reason he played so bad in game 5, he suffered a calf strain. The same injury Kevin Durant was struggling with before he tore his Achilles in the NBA Finals. Losing him the way that they did was too much to bear. The Thunder are your 2024-25 NBA champions, making them the youngest team to win the finals. Shea would win Finals MVP, becoming the 4th player to achieve the Triple Crown. What a year for Shea, and it's only the beginning. That didn't last long.